What it is, what it ain't, what it done like, and what you been booing when you been bad on that time when you was sad and you say, I'm never glad. Welcome to the Perfect Pair Podcast. I'm Rock-T for Sheezy.
What was that?
That was my new intro.
Oh my gosh, babe, that was horrible.
You forgot.
You just, what was I supposed to say?
Who you are, your name.
Oh, and I'm Krystal, Rock-T's better half. My bad. You threw me off.
Welcome to the Perfect Pair Podcast, guys. And this is another fun week and another fun episode.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's more of to people to kind of look at themselves type episode.
All right. So as we always say, to get the episode started, what we talking about? Hawami.
Rocky. And I should be used to it, but I'm not. Like, I really hate that you say that. But anyways, the dating pool. Mm-hmm. I have so many people that I know, and not really my friend. Most of my friends are already married or in a relationship. But the people that are in a dating situation right now always says, that dating pool, you don't understand, it got a lot of piss in it. It's nasty. It's boo-boo, all this stuff. I don't want no parts of that dating pool. And so it's like a community pool. You know, everybody know what a community pool is. Free. Everybody in the world can go to the community pool.
And everybody pee in that community pool.
Right. And guess what? You going to the community pool. So
Facts.
why do you feel like that dating pool is the way it is?
Right.
So to me, I feel like it's how we said when we got together, how we gotta form a circle, because everybody in your circle is not in your corner.
Period.
Is that right?
Absolutely.
Right. There you go. So, and it was like we had to start trimming some fat.
A lot of fat.
Realizing what we wanted out of our relationship and who we wanted for us and people that wanted to be for us, we had to make some changes. There's some people we don't talk to anymore. There's some people we see on the fly here and there. Mm-hmm. And there's some people that are in our circle that we talk to all the time that is always there. I feel like that's the same when it comes to the dating world.
Okay, so let's pause right there. So we're going to get into the dating pool and
right.
all that. Okay, so get ready, y'all. Get your notepad out. Start taking your notes. Start writing stuff down. If you want to email us or send us a DM, do that as well. We're finna get into it right now. Perfect Pair Podcast starts in 3, 2, and 1.
Rocky, oh my God. Just why? You're so extra.
All right, let's go, man.
Okay, so I'm always on TikTok and I follow this young lady named Kitty J. Rose. She is a certified counselor or something, therapist, whatever, but she is amazing.
Okay.
How she breaks stuff down. And she was speaking on the dating pool, and I was like, this is something we should talk about, and I think everybody needs to hear this.
Because there's a lot of people dating.
Yes, and one thing that that really said is there's some dating pools that has easy access, but there's some that is not. You keep going to the easy access one and wondering why you keep coming up with these pissy people. So
break down what easy access is. What's an easy access pool?
Okay, so easy access, anybody can get in there. It's easy. It's just like going to a party, going to the club. Everybody can get into the club. If you pay for it, you can get in the club. Or if it's free before 10, you can get in there because they're just trying to get everybody in there. It's
but the VIP is more exclusive.
Right. And then if you have a private event, you can't go to that event.
Right.
Unless you're invited. Unless you know somebody that got you in.
Absolutely.
Because you cannot get into that party.
Okay.
I feel like the dating pool is the same way. And that's how she was explaining it too. She was like, so most of us people, when we're dating, we go to familiar territories. We start dealing with people that we're familiar with, and that goes back to how we were raised. Think about it: how you were raised by parents, step parents, whoever you're around. If you were brought up with a lot of love, care, kindness, and all that stuff, most likely once you grow up, you're gonna think that you deserve love. You're gonna know that you're worthy of that. But if you come from a troubled childhood where it's a lot of trauma, pain, abuse, you're not going to think you're too much worthy of any of those things.
Not only that, because what you see is what you think. Like if you grew up and you don't
listen,
you don't
that
have
is true.
Yeah, you don't have no good example of what a husband and wife should be, what a happy marriage looks like and a happy family looks like. So when you grow up, you become an adult now, you think, "Oh, it's okay for," I'm just going to say it. If I'm a woman or whatever, it's okay for my mate to put their hands on me because that's what I saw. It's okay to argue and yell at each other and call each other out of your name.
Because that's normal.
Because that was the normal thing to do in the household that you grew up in.
That's love.
Absolutely. As long as someone, I'm glad you brought that love word up.
You do. I'm just saying because I thought so. Because I thought the craziness and the interactiveness and all that if it wasn't drama, something's wrong.
But see, let's talk love for a second.
Okay.
Because so many people think they're in love when it ain't love. It's why? Because a person is not gonna bring the best, is not gonna bring the worst out of you if they really, really love you.
But if they don't know no better, then they will.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Right.
It's common sense to me.
To you, but listen, this is why I say this to him. Rocky has a whole different perspective, but you were brought up in a home of love.
Okay, yeah. And my mom and dad still together.
Right.
Right.
Not saying that they were perfect.
Right.
Not saying everything went all hunky-dory.
Right.
But I do. He cold over here. I'm sorry.
It is a little chilly in this doggone studio.
He's like, he's trying everything.
Little goosebumps on this bad
His
boy.
little arms are going like this. I'm like, oh, it feel good. He over here.
Eskimo over here.
I'm sorry.
That's all good. Let's
go. Back to what I'm saying. But you came from a lot of love. Your family was there. Y'all stuck together. Y'all do everything together. And your parents did the best that they could to give you that.
Absolutely.
So I feel like the way you were brought up was completely different than the way I was brought up.
Mm-hmm.
I was brought up in a world where it was constant fighting, bickering, cheating, infidelity, cussing people out, burning each other.
Dang.
Pimps, house. I mean, that's what I came up with. Fighting.
Right.
No respect. And then thinking, like, sometimes it's okay, like, for someone you do finally settle down, it's okay if they go out and do what they need to do as long as they come home.
Right.
So it's like
that's normal.
So I thought that was what life was about.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be in a relationship and be in a marriage where it seems like love, this is love. What I saw for love was completely different what you saw for love.
Right. Right. Now,
So it's really serious. When I tell people this, it's about how you were brought up in your surroundings. I feel like that is such a key thing, because if you don't know no better, you're not going to do any better. And this is all you know. I have family members back home now that doesn't know any better. Mm-hmm. Having $100 in their bank account is a lot of money to them.
right.
Having a couple of $100, having this, and being able to just go to the movies and do that, that's like a big outing, and that's a lot for them.
Okay,
Getting paid a job that is $13 an hour. Keep in mind, I'm not saying anything's bad about it, but they think that is it. That's the world. That's the highest that they can go.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that there's more out there for them, but they don't know.
Okay, I understand that. Okay. We say this all the time on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
From the day you were born all the way till you 18,
Right.
give or take a couple years, you don't know no better, because you're going off of the way you was taught, the way you were brought up, your family and your surroundings and everything like that you just explained. Mm-hmm. But when you become an adult, and if you're seeing other things, other positive examples out there,
Right.
and you thinking, well, that's not real, because that was not my life. Why can't it be real? So you have the power to change. You have the power to make the decision to say, I want better for my life. If it's the dating situation, because we're talking about the dating pool.
Right.
I don't want to be unhappy every day in my relationship. I don't want to be arguing all the time with my mate. I don't want to be, and you can make a list of all these negative things that a lot of people stay in because that's all they knew.
Right.
Instead of,
because it's familiar and comfortable for them.
Instead of like, okay, I do deserve better. I do want to be happy.
Right.
So that's an example of what not to do. So even though that's all I knew growing up, now I'm an adult, I want to be happy. I want to find someone that I can be happy with.
I get what you're saying on that.
So I'm going to make the decision to not be in this, change that, what you call the generational curse, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to change that and say, no, not me. That's the way y'all want to live y'all life. But I want to live my life this way, and I want to find happiness with someone that I'm compatible with.
No, and you're right. I get exactly what you're saying. But you also got to understand, you're dealing with people that has never experienced this. They want different. I know I wanted different. Mm-hmm. I knew I wasn't going to be in a relationship. I knew I was not going to be with a man or married to a man. That was my mindset. I'm not marrying a man. There's no men out there that can be faithful to one person.
So what changed your mind? What made you say, you know what? I do want to find someone that makes me happy.
To be honest, I'm not even trying to be funny. Really, until I met you and realized, seriously, you were something different. I knew that I didn't want this for myself. So I knew I didn't. And now we're going to get further into that part where this is where I came into, because I knew I didn't want to be with a man like I grew up with.
Right.
And I was not going to be with anybody. And again, Rocky, I said I wasn't going to be with anybody in the entertainment business that played any professional sports
Did them both.
or had any kids, has been married before. This fool is all of those.
All that.
All of those.
Like, dang, man.
Right.
Check.
Right. But I knew I had a certain expectation, and I knew that if I was to get married, it was going to be someone of your stature. I knew that was going to be happening, but I just didn't think it was really going to happen. I didn't think that was a reality. I kept thinking it was those fairy tales that you see, Little Mermaid and all that other good stuff.
Right.
But I didn't think it was really possible, but I knew I wasn't going to go through what I saw my mom, what I saw my grandma, what I saw my aunts and uncles. What I saw all of them go through, that wasn't going to happen to me.
Okay, so
I knew that for a fact.
You're a living example of what I just described.
Right, but I also didn't work on myself either. Because I'd rather just hide all that stuff and say, I'm not going to be that, and then put on this mask and portray to be something else. So that's why I want you to understand. A lot of us don't really want to develop self-awareness. So that's why we're going into these dating pools. You steady going to that community pool and keep going back, because you're not really looking at yourself and seeing what you want and being aware of who you are and where you come from and why you are the way you are.
That's important, because if you don't work on yourself,
right,
and you do find your knight in shining armor or your queen, whatever you want it to be, it's gonna explode in your face anyways, because you're still stuck into old version of what you saw, what you thought, what you believe. This is not gonna be real. This is too good to be true, and then you'll mess it up.
And you know I almost did. So yeah, I did. I'm telling the truth. Shit, I know how to tell the truth. But the point I'm making is that the dating pool is really not as bad as y'all think it is.
It's not.
It's what you're making of it. You just got to elevate yourself. Once you start to elevate who you are and yourself, I think the dating pools will be different. The dating pools you go into will be different.
Okay, so
we ain't talking about them community pools, because there's a whole bunch of community pools.
It sure is.
A whole bunch of them.
But I'm about to make some people uncomfortable going off what you just said about dang, what you just say? I just went blank real fast. But you said something popped in my head. What's the last thing you just said?
To elevate yourself?
Elevate yourself. There you go.
Okay.
Now let's talk elevating yourself.
I was like, what?
I just went blank that fast. You can't be afraid to elevate yourself, because if your mate is not ready to elevate with you.
Right.
Let's just say you meet, you start dating, you start to learn each other, right?
Right.
Okay. Now you're up here elevating yourself. You know what you want. You have these expectations for your relationship, for your happiness. And your mate is not. They're just content. They're okay with being mediocre, whatever you want to call it. They're okay with, hey, this is whatever. There's no drive there. So you bring yourself down to meet with your mate versus challenging your mate to come up here.
Right.
Now, if your mate chooses not to come up here because of ego, pride, whatever you want to call it, then that's going to be a whole bunch of clashing.
Right.
And that's going to be a whole bunch of unhappiness.
Y'all going to start drifting apart right away.
Absolutely. So, you can't be afraid to set your standards of what you want. And you force your mate, if they ain't up here, come on, let's do this together. Let's do this side by side. I don't want to feel like I'm better than you and I'm doing this. Come on, let's do this together. That's the key. You got to do it together. Be a team at it.
Right. And so, but we're still talking about dating. We don't know if they're in a relationship. Dating, I don't recommend this. I don't think it's like a relationship. I think it's just dating. You're more on being together already.
Okay.
So like when you're dating, you're trying to figure out who you want and being in a relationship, because it all starts with where you're meeting these people. And I also think it's like we go into these familiar territories, because I was very guilty of this. You go into these familiar territories and then you start to, and you have low self-esteem, then guess what? You start dealing with people that's going to make you continue to feel like you have low self-esteem. And make you really believe you're not worth all this stuff, because that's where you're going. You're going where you're familiar. So if you're familiar going into these hole in the walls and that's all you want to stay around, nothing against hole in the walls, because I like them too. But if you go into the hole in the walls trying to date somebody and wondering why you can't find nobody good, well, maybe you should change where you're trying to go date. That's the dating pool you go into. And then you wondering why the people that you date, every time you get with them, they're making you feel worthless.
If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting.
And then I hate when I hear, because I hear this all the time. Girl, you better work. I tell my friends, you need to work it out with who you got because this dating pool is nasty. It's crazy out here. You don't want to get out here. Keep where you are. First of all, no, don't settle, because if who you with is not working for you, you need to move on.
Period.
Second of all, if this dating pool is so bad, what does that say about you?
Period.
You keep swimming in that damn nasty ass shit.
Come on, man.
Like, that's just my personal opinion. You keep swimming in it and you want to keep complaining. So guess what you are? You are part of that same community nasty pool because you keep going up there every Saturday.
Right. I don't get it.
Sometime on Sunday.
You're right.
Like, I don't get it.
Those people that complain about that stuff, I'm like, just look how you're living your life. You choose to live your life the way you living it.
Right.
And then you want to complain about it.
Right.
But then when a real friend pointed out, now you want to be mad at your real friend. Now you want to be like, oh, you think you too good. I get that a lot. You think you too good.
That part, because that's what I was about to say next.
What you mean? You should think you're too good.
I'm better than this. I don't want this for my life.
Right, you should think you're too good. You want to be bad? You want everything to be, come on, it's not making sense. Common sense, man, come on.
And then, when you go into when you want a certain level, you go to a certain pool level. Mm-hmm. Like, there's different levels to this. Mm-hmm. And if you want to keep hanging around these same people, you got to move yourself. And you want a different status. And I think a lot of times, some of us don't want to go into that different pool because we feel uncomfortable. Right. Because now, all of a sudden, this mask starts to come off because people start to expose who you really are. Mm-hmm. You start to really see who you are. Because I'm not going to lie, when I first started being with you and getting around the people who you are and who's around you, and we start to kind of elevate our life, it starts to be intimidating to be in that circle because you're not used to that. I'm not used to being around these kind of people.
Right.
And I remember somebody used to tell me, like, if I got to figure out what fork I need to be, that's not the restaurant for me. I want to be myself, this and that. But what's wrong going to a restaurant where you got to choose out of 8 forks of which one is the right one? People call it,
oh, that's being bougie.
Right.
Oh, that's being
having a 5-course meal. I grew up with people saying that that's not me, you a sellout, this is that, because you always hear that you're a sellout because you're no longer in this situation. But what's wrong with me experience a 5-course meal?
What's wrong with elevating your life and getting out of that doggone listen, I get it. You grew up. If you grew up in the hood, you grew up in the inner city, you grew up in the ghetto, the projects, whatever you want to call it, and someone makes it out and they start doing positive things with their life and making great positive choices, and you call them a sellout.
Right.
Because they're learning more new things.
Because you won't challenge yourself.
Right.
That's what it boils down to. You won't challenge yourself, and that's why you're staying in the situation that you're in.
Man, come on,
You won't challenge yourself. It's okay to challenge yourself, to learn more. Don't be intimidated by that doctor. I'm not even going to lie. My mom used to make me feel like I couldn't be in the presence of people that had higher education than I did. So like a doctor, a lawyer, this and that. I would think that you had to be at that level to talk to these people, to be in a conversation with them people. And if I am in that circle with them, I'm just going to be quiet because I don't speak their language because I feel like I'm less than. And I am not blaming my mom, but I feel like my mom grew up thinking she was less than.
Because that's all she knew.
That's all she knew. So she's making like, just be quiet. Well, and as I start talking to these people, thank God I have a big mouth. I'm going to talk anyway.
Right.
I've always been that way.
That part's true.
I've always been that way.
Circle, check mark.
Okay.
Red dot.
There you go. I've always been that way. But I've gotten in these circles now where I just started to talk. Like, I don't know everything that they know. I may not have the big words. I tell my daughter all the time when she come home from school, because she goes to Harvard, hey, you talking to me. Mm-hmm. You know who you talking to. Don't be using these big words. I'll be like, what does that mean? And she'll start laughing. I really don't know. I have no shame. My friends know it too. What does that mean? I don't understand. And a true story happened. We was doing a baby shower for one of my friends, and they were like, oh, we want to get the baby's breath flowers. And I just got quiet, and everybody just kept going. I said, baby's breath? I said, did she say baby's breath? And everybody was like, yeah. I said, what is baby's breath? they were like, Krystal, you don't know it. So everybody started laughing. I said, you know what? While everybody over here laughing, somebody over here didn't know.
They
either.
also didn't know.
And they just don't want to say nothing. And it's okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Let me tell you something.
Because I didn't know it. And just so y'all know what baby breath flowers are, it's those little white little flowers that looks like cotton balls. To me.
Yeah.
Look like little cotton balls, but they're little baby little white flowers that people put around like a rose. When you put a rose there, it's those little white things to kind of add to make it fuller or something like that. But it's really pretty.
Wasn't that beautiful?
Never would have known that was baby's breath.
Did you see what just happened? Like, if she would have never said those 4 magical words, what does that mean? She would have never known how to explain what she just explained.
Hell no. And my
Before
friends,
that conversation, you didn't know what baby breath, whatever doggone it is. I can't even say the
baby's
words.
breath.
But now you just broke it down. Now everybody know what it is.
I
All
had
because
no
you
idea.
said, what does that mean? Swallow your pride, guys, man. Listen, let's go back to the being in those rooms
Right.
with these higher educated people, whatever you want to call it.
CEOs, all that.
You were smart for not wanting to talk. You're supposed to listen more when you're in these big circles. That's how you learn. See, we got a problem with over talking. We always want to pretend. So if we're in a circle of people and they're having a conversation.
I do talk though. I didn't say I didn't want to talk.
No, yeah, but
I do listen. I'm always there in those situations where I listen, but I do talk too.
right. So but you listen first.
Right. I do that.
See, some people listen to learn, and some people talk just to be running their mouth.
To sound like you're
So they can sound like, oh,
You
yeah, I
belong.
understand what you're talking about, and blah, blah, blah. And then they make themselves sound foolish. If you ain't got nothing to say, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing until you have something to say. It's okay to just listen and learn. Listen and learn. Now, if you're going to add something to the conversation, make sure you know what you're saying is legit.
Don't be lying.
Don't just be jumping in or whatever. So, what?
I'm listening to you.
Oh,
Don't be
yeah.
lying.
Yeah, because you straight up lying.
Right, because I've known a lot of people that get up there and they lie about certain things, or you're trying to make yourself be more than what you are.
Man, be you.
And you're like overly trying to get into the circle, like I'm trying to do this. You're trying to be friends with that person, friends with that person. Let me tell you something. A lot of these people in these circles already know about you, and when you do that, they're talking about you behind your back. They'll smile at you, but then they're going to be talking about you, and then you wonder why they never called you back. They've never invited you to an event. They've never asked you for anything. That is why, because they looked at you and seen you for who you really, really are.
Man, they
Like,
read
just
you.
be honest about who you are. I have a friend now that just recently became my friend about a year ago. When I tell you one thing that I love about this lady is that the fact that she was who she was, and she does not shy away from how she was brought up. She does not shy away that she had 2 kids by the age of 15. She does not shy away about how she was abandoned by her mother, the drug and abuse, anything that she entailed. She has never been to college, but she is the only and single black female that owns a trucking instruction school.
Come on now.
In the United States.
CEO boss.
And both her kids went through college.
Come on
and
now.
graduated.
Come on. So
When you talk to people like that, it's like you'd be surprised about a lot of these CEOs, other people, what they've been through and how they've gotten to where they are. And then most of the time, some of them have had a great life, but some of them haven't. And most of them are pretty much just want to be free and talk to somebody that's normal. They don't want to be talking all this uppity stuff all the time.
most of them learn from some people.
Right.
Mentors. People that are smarter than them. I'll always
And asking questions saying, I didn't know, but this is what I want to do.
What do I always say? One of my rule of thumbs. I like to be the dumbest person in my circle.
Right.
And I say that in a positive way. Because if you're the dumbest person in the circle that you're in, all these other people around you know more than you and can help teach you how to get to the next level that you're trying to get to. When I become the smartest person in my circle, it's time to get a new circle. No disrespect to this circle over here. We still cool. We still going whatever, hang out, whatever. But it's time for me to go to this circle over here of these other people because I'm trying to elevate.
Somebody asked me about when you said that, and they was like, so you just going to abandon the people that was there for you at the beginning?
Nope.
I don't feel like you're abandoning them, because if you're trying to elevate, they're going to elevate as well. So y'all both will probably be growing together into the new circle that you're forming.
Absolutely.
So y'all both are learning together. So it's not necessarily leaving the people that you were at first, but it's also helping them, bringing them up to where you are.
Thank you. That's the point, because not everybody there may not be able to go with you, because everybody that come with you can't go with you.
Right.
Sometimes people have egos and pride, and they have agendas as well, and then they stop wanting to learn because they think they know it all. And that's when it's time to trim some of that fat. But if you got people on your team that's like-minded like you, that's go-getters and say, hey, let's go get this. Let's go continue to learn. That's humble. All right, as we elevate over here in this new circle, come on, we all elevating together. So I'm glad you broke that down, because it's not about see y'all later, I'm over here.
Right.
But if we all on the same page about wanting to elevate and humble ourselves to get better and smarter, let's go. Let's go together. And if you ain't down with that, deuces, gotta cut you loose. I ain't got time for it.
I know Rocky cut people loose all the time. He do it so smooth too. I'd be like, how do you just cut it off? I still be wanting to talk and be this, but he just learns to cut people off. I'm gonna learn that trait one day, but well, you know what? Let me stop lying, because I know how to cut somebody off. If I really don't, if I cut you off, that means because I really don't like you.
Well, yeah.
And I hate to say that to your face, but I will.
Yeah. Oh, she will.
If I cut you off, I really don't like you, so I will not say anything else to you. I won't even be in the same room as you. Like, I will literally make sure I am away from you. I don't like talking to people that I don't like, because anything you may say may trigger me and make me think like you coming for me or something, and then I'm going to be ready to snap back, and that's not always good.
And you're being fake.
Right. And I'm definitely not trying to be fake.
Right.
I'm just going to be done with it, the whole situation. But back to, challenging yourself to get away from that stuff. A lot of times we are getting comfortable. Like, we're so caught up into the dating pool where we're thinking about the monetary thing, the physical thing of someone else and everything. So then you start to see the behaviors that your ex was doing, being abusive and crazy and all that stuff. You see those same signs, but you look past them because you're so caught up in the way they look and how much money they got and what they doing for you. And then you wondering why you're still back into the same situation you was in before. And then you're settling. But then it goes back to who's the common denominator out of all of this.
Look, let me tell you something. You can be spoiled with all the gifts, have all the money, have the big old huge house, have all the fancy cars and pretty much all that stuff. But if you're not compatible and happy with your mate, you're going to be miserable. I mean, look at all these people, these wealthy people that, overdose or suicide, kill themselves and doing all this kind of stuff. And we always think, you got everything. You have all the money. You can buy whatever you want. You can go wherever you want. But they're still emotionally and mentally unhappy.
And it goes back to working on yourself.
Come on now.
You have to work on yourself on so many levels, because listen, I feel like I've done a really good, 180, not 360, because I ain't went back to the same shit.
Like, for real, you have.
I have. No,
like, this version of you is like.
I have a whole different kind of self-control over myself, because usually I'm ready to fight. I used to always, I'm talking about physically fight. Like, it's not just talking. No, I want to fight. I'm grabbing, punching, something.
And people, they get shocked when they hear that part about you.
I went to anger management. Like, y'all don't understand. I was court ordered anger management.
Like, so for real.
Like
she was bona fide crazy.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
And I love her to death. That's right. I had to calm her little self down.
But one thing, once I really started working on myself, I started to understand. And again, it didn't happen until we were married and almost messed up our situation, when I started to go to therapy and started to realize I deserve better. I deserve more. I deserve love. I deserve this happiness that this man is providing for me, instead of looking at it, I don't deserve him, I need to push him away. And a lot of times that's what we do as people when we're getting in this dating pool. We wanted to disguise all of that. We don't want to deal with what's really wrong with us, and want to get into this dating world and then be mad because you keep getting them sorry people.
Come on now.
To me, it seems like it's you the problem.
Ooh, wrap that thing up there, baby. Wrap it up right there, baby. Baby.
Rocky, I can't with you doing this.
God, it is what it is. Sometimes you the problem.
Right. You are the problem. If you keep going into those, everybody can't get into those. When you're leveling up, those people in the community pool can't get to the other pool. Like we saying in the VIP, you can't get to a private event. You can't go to Beyonce and Jay-Z's wedding and they parties and stuff. Why? Because you're not on their level, period. You're not on their level. You're not in that dating. You're not in that pool of what they have going on.
So now y'all got to understand this piece. It's not about you feeling like you're better than everybody. It's not about having that uppity, trying to don't take this information wrong or what Krystal is saying as far as because you're not
stop running from yourself.
Right.
Stop running from all the insecurities that you have. Start learning how to be secure within who you are, even all your flaws that you have. I have a lot of flaws that's wrong with me, but now I embrace the flaws that I have, and if it's a flaw that I need to work on, just work on it.
Right.
And understand what that flaw is, because you going in that community pool, you adding more trash to that pool as well, because you haven't worked on yourself. So when you do go to the VIP or go to a private event, and people start to see you for who you are, you start to get embarrassed and you hop your ass back into that community pool because you want to go back to being comfortable because you don't really want to deal with what the issue is, which is yourself.
Comfortable. Quit being comfortable. You want to be
because
uncomfortable.
Because you can get a good man, a good woman for your spouse, but as long as you have these demons inside of you, you will end up messing it up.
Message. We're gonna end it right there.
And I'm saying you mess it up even if that person's the one beating you upside your head and treating you wrong, because you allowed them to go in there, because you won't change about your past. You won't change that you deserve more. You won't change your self-worth. That's what I'm trying to say.
So it goes back down to right here. Me. I have the power.
To your heart.
I have the power. I am talking to my heart, straight from my heart.
Okay.
I have the power to make the decision to decide how I want to live my life, who I want to surround myself around, and what type of energy I want to put out into the world. And if I want to be mediocre, and I'm content with that, I can't blame nobody else.
Right. And
I can't blame you if you want to elevate. I can't say, well, Krystal, why are you doing that? You and trying to down and hate on you. I choose to be mediocre and content where I'm at. Now, if you got a problem with what Krystal is doing and how she's elevating her life, then how about swallowing your pride and saying, Krystal, man, show me how you did that. Can you teach me how to do that? And humble yourself. It's okay if you don't know. And ask the question.
My thing is, if you in a situation right now, you're dating, even if you're in a relationship right now, and you're sitting there saying, like, you're miserable, you feel like the person is not giving you the praises they need to, making you feel like you're worthy of them, worthy of love, you need to stop and think, do you think you're worthy of love? Do you think you deserve more than what you're getting? And right there, if you say yes, then you need to get out. You need to stop what you're doing, start reevaluating your situation and say, okay, maybe we need to take some steps back. Maybe we need to start doing something different. But if you feel like this is what you're worth and this is what you deserve, then you're going to keep getting that, period. There's no really science to this.
It's easy.
It's really that easy. If you feel like you deserve this, and you're going to keep getting that. But if you feel like you deserve more, you can do something about it and just move and tell this person, hey, I deserve more. Either they're going to get on the program with you, or they're going to need time to pack their bags and go to the door.
There's a reason why there's a lever on the dump truck.
What?
Because you driving down that doggone road, eventually you got to pull that lever, and now all that dirt and all that trash that's in that dump truck is going to get dumped into the doggone landfill. And then you got to go in. Now, if you're going to keep letting people refill your dump truck with a bunch of trash, then that's your fault. You know what I'm saying? Or you can say, you know what? I want my dump truck filled with some good stuff, some treasures. Some diamonds, some gold.
I don't want it in a dump truck. I want to put it in a safe somewhere.
We'll see.
Because I don't want it dumped nowhere. If you put it in a dump truck, you're going to dump it somewhere.
You ain't got to dump it. Well, you just messed up my doggone analogy.
My bad. Well, because you said dump truck. Dump truck. I don't want to dump it out. I want to keep all that stuff.
Move in silence.
Okay.
You just brought me around to a whole nother analogy I was about to break down. Move in silence.
Okay.
See, some people like to get a whole bunch of flashy stuff and say, oh, look what I got. Look at my diamonds. Look at my fancy house. Look at my fancy car. Look at all this money I got. Them Instagram folks. Look at all this stuff. I don't mind having my diamonds and stuff in the dump truck, because you're going to see that dump truck pass by and you ain't going to think nothing of it. But if I got all my stuff and I'm flashing on, I'm flashy with all my stuff, everybody's going to be like, oh, we finna go jack him. Oh, he got all this money. Oh, yeah, we finna all this. I'm telling you, man, move in silence, man. Keep your treasures and keep all your wins and victories. You ain't got to blurt. You ain't got to talk. You ain't got to blast out to the world. Just let people find out on their own. And when they find out,
just know that you are worthy and you deserve way more, and understand that you do not have to settle.
Come on,
I tell everybody that just because you're out here dating and you seeing trash, it's time for you to go find another pool. Stop going to that community pool. Go on, pay you a couple of extra dollars to get into a different pool so you can get somewhere where you can find something nice and understand what you are. And first, they might start with you going to therapy.
You see what she just did? she seen me going all the way out in the left field.
Right, and just stop him.
Brought it all back home.
Right, because he gonna keep
supposed to be talking
going.
about the dating pool.
Right.
I'm on a whole nother episode.
You are. So
It's
yeah.
like you be triggering me when you say certain things. I'm like, wait a minute.
We talking about the dating pool. So just understand, you're dating, you're not too far into it. You can get up out that shit now. So go ahead and get up out of it.
There it is, man. That's a wrap. Perfect Pair Podcast. One more again, man. If y'all have any issues and you have a problem with anything that we say, you disagree, that's okay. You know, if you want to send us a little DM or email, perfectpairpodcast.com. We really don't. I mean, we care, but we don't care. Like, we don't want to say we don't care about y'all because we do care about you. But we don't care about
our feelings.
Yeah, we don't care about if you don't like what we say and how we live our lives.
Right.
And our because it's our opinions.
Right.
That's all it is. Just like your opinions are your opinion. And it's okay if people don't like your opinions. It's okay to agree to disagree.
He gonna keep going on. Okay, we're good.
Deuces!
Bye.
So pretty much, ladies and gentlemen, billy goats and girls and bats and everything else.
Why do you do that? Just say ladies and gentlemen, or just say hi. We are here to tell you guys where to subscribe.
Why are you talking like that? You don't even talk like that. Talk
I
like
know,
yourself.
because I'm waiting for you. Okay.
Subscribe.
Okay. Subscribe. Please listen. You will not be sorry.
Did you just fart?
No, that's your breath. Oh.
Oh, comeback time.
Bye.